Hello, and thank you for joining me on the Bryan Hartson. Is a youth speaker. She's a youth mentor, and she's on a mission to build 1 billion students. That's right, 1 billion student leaders by teaching and taking fearless action towards creating a life that inspires you. And I'm so honored to have you back, Eden. Thank you for joining us. Hi, how are
Doing great. I can't complain. Some of my conversations with you are the best ones that I've ever had. So
you?
I'm so blessed to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you are welcome. Thank you for taking your time out of your busy day today. Now, today, what we want to talk specifically about is a short little bit on public speaking. Tell me about your public speaking. We're going to get into what the benefits are in just a minute, but just give us a brief overview of public speaking and where you're at with that right
I think speaking to audiences is the best career that there is. I might be a little biased, but it's true.
now.
So I started speaking. The first time I ever spoke was actually in Fiji to a group of 200 businesswomen. It was my first time ever speaking. I was a guest to my mentor at the time named Catherine Hoke. Shout out to Catherine. And I was so nervous that I held the microphone down by my leg. And she had to grab my hand on stage and put it right back up under my face so that I would be speaking into the microphone. It was embarrassing. But the second I looked into the audience's eyes and saw that they were crying with me, they were feeling everything that I was feeling, I knew that there was something there. And then somebody on that trip, we were in Australia, they told me, why don't you speak in schools? Why don't you share your message with young people? And I have never let that thought drop since. And now that's been the mission that I'm on, to reach as many young people as I can through my words, through my coaching, and build student leaders.
Okay, so we're talking about student leaders. How young can we be looking at somebody getting some benefits from public speaking from you?
You Public speaking wise, if somebody wants to learn about public speaking or if they want to learn from me in terms of becoming a student leader.
Wants to learn from you to hit that billion mark.
So I have coached and mentored kids of all ages, anywhere as young as 2 can start to learn very powerful concepts of what it means to just grow up strong and independent and confident. You'll know that a lot of what I talk about is mental health and making your mental health a priority so that you can feel empowered, feel inspired to live a life that you are capable of living despite what some people might tell you in your life. And that can start from as little as 2, maybe younger, not quite sure about that, can't speak for everyone, and all the way to your adult life. You're never too young, you're never too old.
What is your target audience right now, age-wise, for hitting that billion mark?
My target audience is really teenagers who are in high school. College is also a great market, but it's really young people who are going through major life transitions, whether developmentally or major life transitions from high school to college or into the work field or wanting to start a small business.
Okay.
But that's really the age group that I like to focus on. But I will talk to anybody, anytime, anywhere. But yeah, I really like to hone in on the young people that are, maybe 14 to 22.
I think one of the great things about my time with you, Eden, is the fact that you are so easy to talk to, but within the first couple of minutes, you draw people in, and you just got that insta bond. I think that I want to know from your perspective, how did you get out of your little shell and get to be so photogenic, so energetic in talking with people?
Yeah, and I hate to put it this way, but I'm going to say it anyways. I eventually developed that screw it mentality. If people don't like me, they're not my people, or they just don't understand me. And that came from building up my own self-confidence after the struggles I faced when I was young. I was
Mhm.
severely bulimic. I had an eating disorder for 6 years. I hated who I was. I would have died to be anybody else. I did anything anyone would have wanted of me, which got me into a lot of situations like, sexual assault and being in a
Mm.
car with drunk drivers, whatever it is. But when I started developing or getting into personal development and learning from a lot of very powerful, confident, fit people, whatever that goal was, I started to recognize that the voice that matters the most is my voice. And other voices, they're either here with me or they're not. I still have compassion for those people, but people who hate or judge likely have some emotional or psychological thing that they have to deal with themselves, or they wouldn't be focused so much about what I'm doing. So although I care about the opinions of others, I don't let it stop me nearly to the degree that I used to. And now I embrace my extroverted self, which was diminished for so long.
So you're an extrovert when it comes to public speaking. When we're talking right now, you're an absolute extrovert. Have you always been an extrovert, or was this learned for you? I think that's a question that a lot of people that are shy at parties or at school or gatherings might have for you.
I've always been an extrovert, but regardless of if you're an extrovert, introvert, a combination of the two, you can still take actions that are beneficial to what you want in life. The stories that you tell yourself are so powerful. The words that you tell yourself are the single most important thing that can either make your dreams come true or destroy you. So yes, I've always been an extrovert, but I was
Mhm.
so insecure that I felt, and I have been told, that I'm too loud, I'm too much. So I was conditioned to believe that being an extrovert was bad, and I was just too much, and I made myself play really small. If you are somebody who's an introvert, maybe there are so many beautiful things that come from being by yourself and being super creative in that way. But if you find yourself not doing the things that you know you should do because you have this narrative playing in your head of that, oh, I hate people, I'm not a people person,
Mhm.
like whatever it is, and it's not benefiting you, you have to be self-aware of that and start to figure out some habits that you can do to kind of pull yourself out of that while still staying true to the fact that you need more alone time than maybe some other person does.
Sure. Okay, so here's the big question. 1 billion kids come in front of you. What are they going to get out of your workshop?
Ooh, I love this question. So, the first thing that they're going to get right off the bat, I'm sure you can attest to this, is energy. I
Yes.
have, first of all, I have never had somebody powerful come into my school when I was growing up to give me a message I didn't know I needed to hear, but I did when I heard it. I've never had that. So I want to be that role model, that voice for the kids who feel like they don't have that person or somebody to make them feel less alone. And I do that through excitement, connection, building trust with my audience. I'm loud, I'm engaging, I'm exciting. I try my best to bring students up, their energy up. Of course, I have some stories about my life that are not so high and not so positive, but it's all in the nature of showing them that it doesn't matter what past you have. It doesn't matter how you grew up, how you were raised. You have an incredible opportunity right now to be who you want to be, despite what you have been taught your whole life. So, to answer your question, what can they get out of it? They can learn very simple and practical tools to prioritize their mental health, to find their voice, to begin speaking up and building confidence in their self so they don't worry about the opinions of others so much and the judgments of others so much, whether it's from a peer or a teacher. And what happens as a result of prioritizing your mental health and building confidence in yourself? Better grades, better relationships, less sexual assault, better attendance in school. So by prioritizing our mental health and making it fun for the kids, it makes them succeed more academically, spiritually, in their relationship lives, and all around.
Awesome. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot here, like I always do. Give me three things, because this is Hartson's Heart. Give Hartson's Heart show three things somebody watching this show can do today in order to start working towards that goal.
Mm. The first thing, first and foremost, everyone will tell you this, is you have to be self-aware. What are the thoughts that you're thinking and the actions that you are taking on a regular basis that are not serving you or the goals that you have? Doesn't matter your age. you can start to think about the thoughts that you're having that maybe are making you feel terrible about yourself. Are you waking up and you're like, man, I look so ugly today? That's something to keep in mind and become aware of. Because when you become aware of it, you have the power to change it. How do you change it? You actively change it. I am beautiful. You start telling yourself positive words to override the negative. But simultaneously, while you are practicing this positive self-talk, you have to have some sort of consistent action, because just speaking to yourself positively is not going to take away our insecurities. It's just not enough. So we have to take action. What can you do? You can take a goal of yours. What is a goal that you have? Identify it and figure out what are some little tiny things that you can do every day to work towards that goal, to get inspired, because confidence builds when we take action. It's not just there. And when you get a tiny win, a tiny little win, maybe you took one dancing class, maybe you studied for an hour when you promised yourself you would, maybe you didn't go out to a party and you held yourself accountable to that. Those are little wins that can give you momentum to keep going. So take your goal and break it down into something small that you can do every day. And the last thing I would say is do something nice for somebody every single day. Sorry, somebody called me. Do something nice for somebody every single day. And if somebody is not so kind to you, instead of reacting as if you are a bad person or there's something wrong with you, have compassion for them. Understand that hurt people hurt people. People don't want to see other people win when they are feeling low about themselves. So they will do everything in their power to bring someone down with them. But the more love that we spread, right? That old saying, kill them with kindness. It's
Right.
so true. So just focus on being the best person that you can for yourself and for others.
Awesome. Now, one final thought here before we go. What kind of interaction can somebody get when they come and have you teach them?
So I do a lot of interactive activities with the kids. We do some, I don't know if you've seen Freedom Riders, but I do different activities in different settings. I ask a lot of questions. I do some step to the line activities, if anybody knows what that is. So asking questions, if it's true for you, step to the line. If it's not, stay there. And by asking questions from a variety of different emotional standpoints, and from have you ever been suspended? Or have you ever stolen it? Or have you ever been on a plane? Whatever it is, we can see that we all have a past and we all have a story. So however I can get the kids connected, I do that. I break them up into groups and I have very practical real life situations that I have them play out. And I do little things like that depending on the audience and what the teacher's desires are for their class or their
Awesome.
school.
Now, how can I get a hold of you for this?
You can text me SPEAK, SPEAK, to 844-218-2979. The text will come directly to my phone. I will know exactly what you're talking about, and we can come up with a plan and talk more about exactly what you're looking for.
Awesome. Tell me that one more time.
Text me SPEAK to 844-218-2979.
Eden, thank you so much for being a part of the show just once again. You mind if I have you back again?
You can have me back whenever you want. I'm ready for these conversations anytime, anywhere, Bryan.
Awesome. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eden Gold. She's with us once again, and we're going to have her back again. Thank you so much for being a part of the Bryan Hartson show, Hartson's Heart. You're kicking it off today, and it's great to have you with us. Thank you, and ladies and gentlemen, great stuff just around the corner.
Bye, guys.